stuff like fermented foods definitely have benefits such as yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, kombucha that also just introduces beneficial bacteria to your gut. Prebiotic foods such as garlic, onions, leeks, bananas, and asparagus. And then last but not least, probiotics, which is simply stuff that you can get from, yogurt essentially. That's why we're big on yogurt.
How can I improve my gut health? I always hear people talking about it online, but I am not sure where to start. This is a killer question because gut health is all the new rage, and it's absolutely amazing seeing the science of what your gut health is and what it's actually linked to. It's actually been shown that poor gut health could lead to you being more likely to be depressed, which is pretty crazy. But before you go blaming everything on your gut health or your current level of fitness or whatnot, just know this is a very, very new position to study, and it's incredibly complex. And there's like trillions and trillions of little components that make up your gut health. But there are some uniform changes you can make to actually improve it. So we're going to jump into that now. Right now, it's something that intrigues me. I do just find there's a lot of people being a little malicious with this topic because it's very sexy for me to say, take my supplement, do my 3-step process. I'm going to fix your gut health and I'm going to fix all your issues. It sounds good. It's appealing. So don't be sucked into that. But I can promise you with certainty, there's no gimmicks with these tips we're about to give you.
Yeah, and what's amazing about this question is that every time we get answered something like this that's very well asked, I feel like a lot of my answers often are the same. And what I mean by this is if someone says, hey, I want to increase my metabolism, a lot of the answers within nutrition will be very similar. Last week, we talked about how to lose fat without dieting. Some of the answers will overlap. If someone says, hey, I want to increase my energy levels, a lot of these answers are very common and you'll see them over and over again. And I think where a lot of people struggle is when it comes down to being healthy, when it comes to improving your, hormone levels, your metabolism, your gut health, your energy. Everyone's looking for a specific thing that is a magic thing, right? And they're always missing out on the things that are right in front of them and that are very easy to do. So a lot of this will be nutrition based. And first off, just eating a diverse range of foods makes such a big difference, right? There's some people who follow meal plans and you'll see them really start to struggle on their journey. They may lose a little bit of weight, but because they're so stuck on having like the same stuff over and over again, it unfortunately doesn't exactly help them. Even just consuming more fiber has been linked to helping improve your gut health drastically, staying hydrated. So obviously just drinking a lot of water, managing stress, as well as just getting enough sleep. And then one of the last things, and these are like the most important things to consider day to day, would just be limiting processed food and sugar, right? So these are very simple things to do. A lot of it is just if I were to say, hey, eat a balanced diet, hit your protein, start to eat more healthy whole foods, stay away from garbage, limit your alcohol consumption and caffeine and keep an eye on that, you should be in a really, really good spot. And then there's a couple other smaller things you can integrate day to day that's just not bigger picture, like increasing your fiber, eating healthier, but stuff like fermented foods definitely have benefits such as yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, kombucha that also just introduces beneficial bacteria to your gut. Prebiotic foods such as garlic, onions, leeks, bananas, and asparagus. And then last but not least, probiotics, which is simply stuff that you can get from, yogurt essentially. That's why we're big on yogurt. There's, even when it comes down to our breakfast, when you actually look at everything considered, it's not just eating that breakfast for fun. Like there's a lot of benefits. The probiotics, when we have blueberries and stuff, there's antioxidants included. So there's a big difference, right? And these are the things that can help you make a big change over time and help you with some improvements. So yeah, that's going to be my long answer. I know I just gave a lot of different things to consider, and I'm sure Josh has a bit more, but that's what's on the top of my head.
Yeah, I like that component of addition of healthier eating as opposed to just cleansing or removing or detoxing. With gut health and the gut in general, a lot of people will try to push like gut detox type supplements, and most often what those detox supplements are, they just give you a ton of fiber and a ton of caffeine, and it basically just makes you have diarrhea for days, and it's like just such a waste of money. But it sounds sexy once again. You're like, oh, I'm cleansing it out, I'm going to start anew. But your body is very complex and very resilient. That's why even if you eat low grade food or you switch your diet away from healthy whole foods, your body is quite able to adapt, and thank goodness for that, or we'd be sick all the time. So it's amazing how resilient our stomach is. And instead of doing these drastic one-off measures that really aren't going to improve anything outside of fasting. Like fasting does have some interesting scientific benefits. I don't utilize it myself, but it is interesting to see some benefits of it in science. And once again, I think also there can be drawbacks, because I know if I were to do a 24-hour fast or longer, I very likely would just want to eat so much more food to make up for it. It would really affect my training. So I personally don't dabble in that. What I do try to do is limit snacks and have bigger gaps between meals to let my body digest, so it's not always working through food. But like I was saying, instead of these drastic things, fasting, gut cleanses, these weird type things, instead just generally aiming to improve your diet over time can have such benefits. So Kyle listed some really powerful foods. Like I love kombucha, and I actually think that's a fun substitute maybe for your pop or your alcohol at night. Sometimes I'll even put kombucha in a wine glass just for fun. It makes it feel fun. It kind of has that more intense taste, and you can get both sides of the benefits of there, getting a lot of healthy bacteria. I made the habit of switching over to just eating Greek yogurt every morning, eating some berries, eating good seeds, chia, hemp. And by doing that day after day, I'm further improving my gut as well. I'm getting a fantastic probiotic in there, which is amazing. I'm getting great seeds. I'm getting great berries and nutrients. And like the consistency of me doing that day after day for days, weeks, months, years is going to stack up way, way more than trying to do any drastic immediate measure. So with gut health, as sexy and appealing as it is, the best thing you can do is, like Kyle said, fill yourself up with whole foods, make good decisions, aim to consistently do better, and really limit the things that are really tough on your system, because that is where you're going to do a lot of damage, especially if you're really like abusing alcohol, like if you're getting really drunk or getting sick or something along those lines from it. That's going to take a big toll on your gut health, right? And that's where you could eat good meals all the time, but if you're destroying yourself every weekend, or you're just eating yourself into oblivion one day of the week, like you're going to do a lot more damage. So really change that mindset from anything drastic or any small quick fix to really looking at your habits and gradually improving your nutrition, your diet as a whole. And that's something obviously myself and Kyle are really passionate about, because if you want to be fit and healthy for life, it needs to become part of your lifestyle. Fitness and health can't just be something you do seasonally or for a couple days of the week. It's something you need to aim to improve over time. And I can assure you, as uncomfortable as that is, your body will adapt into it, and you'll come to want healthy foods more. You'll really love how great you feel. You'll aim to try to cook more and more better foods. And oftentimes what's cool, even being in Florida, we've had people coming down to visit, some clients, some friends, which is amazing. It's a really great experience to be able to utilize that. They're all really fit, healthy people. My brother, who's a coach for us, who absolutely crushes it. And sometimes people will be on vacation, they'll make the intentional choice to let a little bit more loose, maybe have a couple fun dinners, some good foods. And it's really cool seeing how they're like, oh, I can't wait just to get back to healthy eating. Or maybe after that big meal the next day, they'll just crush it with really good eating. So it's just one of those things that you can aim to improve and gradually get better with. Don't just all of a sudden go to Whole Foods and spend 10 times the money you should, just buying all these whole foods and depriving yourself of everything you love, only to binge out on it on the weekend. So I know I took this question and pivoted a bit, but it's something I'm passionate about and was excited to share.
Yeah, there's just so much to consider here, and I like everything that was said there. And it's not for everyone, but I will say the majority of people who ask specific questions relating to gut health, hormones, and metabolism, if I were to just throw a couple questions back at you, such as your water intake, your fiber intake, your whole food intake, your sugar intake, and all that stuff, like most of the people who are struggling with this stuff won't have the right answer for that. They'll probably be over consuming in the wrong areas and under consuming in the right areas. So just something to consider before you, like Josh said, like search online on Amazon or whatever site for like this magic, pill or formula or supplement. And I think a lot of people just don't really look themselves in the mirror the way they should and be like, oh, I have been eating out every day for the last little bit. And, I could be making better choices. And yeah, it's just for most people, if you're just even, gut health related, looking to make those changes before doing anything drastic, it's probably that smaller thing that you're neglecting. And hopefully that makes sense and helps you in some way or another.
Yeah. So we hope that helped you. And if you're wondering, hey, like, where can I start? Perhaps try to incorporate one of these fun foods, try to maybe remove a vice you have in your day with something healthier, and just start to bridge from there. And like I said, what's cool is you'll not only see the change like aesthetically and visually, but you'll feel it physically. When you eat really good food and you just feel satiated and happy and strong and not lethargic, it is a motivating feeling, and it will actually encourage you to continue to eat more. Like I'd be really hesitant to have like a big Denny's breakfast and then go to the gym. Like the thought of it just kind of makes me feel like greasy and like I'm not going to feel my best, where I feel really good having my hearty breakfast because I know it's going to sit in my stomach for that workout. Super nice. It's giving me the energy I need to really crush and complete that workout. So like Kyle said as well, look at the big themes here. Track your food, constantly aim to improve your position of nutrition. And it's not to say you can't ever have something fun. Like I said, our stomach, our guts are resilient. It's amazing what they can withstand. So it'd be really interesting to keep an eye on this science and see how this develops. And I fact checked myself, and it actually shows there are more than 100 trillion microbiome in your gut, which is pretty crazy. So it's a very complex thing, but it is cool to take note of. And doing these things as a whole will improve it, make your stomach feel tighter, and really put you in a good position.